no wonder more people choose Toyota over any other car. After all, Toyota is the best when it comes to overall value and resale value. But there's more, like being treated right, respect for your time, and getting a good, fair value for your trade. So check out what's new at Toyota. Because your Toyota dealer is a great place to do business. Toyota, let's go places.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know certain cartoon characters should never have an energy drink?
Action.
Geico.
Introducing the Birds of America collection. 50 stunning hand-painted plates commemorating the state birds of our proud nation.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, welcome to our 20th show of the year. We had a great year, but we're glad that you were here to watch us. So what did we do? We went back and bought one of the worst people that we've had on the show. We don't know why we bought him back, but y'all see Rick Walker up here?
Yeah, it's playoffs.
All
That's
that
why I'm back.
information
I'm back because it's playoffs. And Novena McGee is the reason I'm here. It definitely is not Tony.
Because she giving me my information, right?
Because she is, we've worked together for decades. You know what I mean? She's got more football knowledge than you do, clearly.
Well, that means 2 times more than you got then, right? We got the G-Man here. He won the pick, so he showed up 2 weeks in a row. I can't believe it. And Donna Hopper. We heard that Donna
Why is
got a
Donna
job.
here?
She's out there. She got a job somewhere else. She's throwing us up under the bus.
Oh, you're leaving
Y'all
us.
didn't know that?
No.
So, this is home.
Oh, but we're
left
football
us.
about throwing them under the bus. Oh, we'll tell you about it. Yeah, all on Facebook and everything.
That's why you dress so nice today.
They say, where did you get your start? She didn't even mention us. Now let's talk about it.
Come on, dog.
You know
I know better than that.
Now let's talk about this. Put these Redskins to bed. They got a new GM in, and I think he'll work right. You know, with McLuhan. What do you guys think about that?
No, I mean, I've learned not to get overly excited about anything in the offseason. I like him. I like his body of work. The question is, will he be allowed to do it his way?
And that's what really happened. And then they got Callahan bringing him in for the offensive line. I think that'll be help, but he still got to get players.
But I think that's good because they've got a wide open draft. They've got the first, 6 picks in each round? Well, a pick in each round of the first 6.
That doesn't necessarily mean what you get in the draft. No matter how good they were in college, how good they're going to perform in the NFL. I mean,
well, at least they got picks.
But I still, I still got to go after that offensive lineman with 2 of those first 6. I got to go with 2 of them.
I agree with that.
If they're there, because I prefer a defensive lineman. If they get that boy out of Southern Cal, you love him.
Is that Williams?
Because he got pass rush moves, which the one thing I've learned from Tony over the years, really the only thing I've ever learned from Tony over the years.
Well, that's more than I've learned from you.
No, come on. is that pass rushers are developed.
Exactly. They're
developed.
Plan.
And guys, I see so many of them that don't have moves that somehow he had that they don't. I can't get over that. But he had them.
Is almost up. You know.
Well, I'm just saying.
We may not even.
It doesn't matter. I know this. If it's playoffs, I'll be back.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Well, tell me about Fangio. You think the defensive coordinator, they're getting him from out in San Francisco. He hasn't taken a job yet. Do you think he'll really help this team?
I like him. The 49ers also have great talent. Right. Navarro, Bowman. Look at the people they have.
Yeah, and people
but at least he got them to show
what
up.
he said?
Talent.
At the end of the day, it's about the players.
Right.
Everybody puts so much thing on the coaches and the general managers, and I'm sorry, they play a part, but it's just a part in this.
But it starts with
this. You talk to them. So what do you go in your first round? What do you go? I'm going after a guard or a tackle.
I'm going after a pass rusher or pass protector.
Me too.
Pass protector.
Now, what about the defensive backfield? Do you take a chance? Because I know it's some defensive backs that people are projecting to be first round. Do you go after them, or do you wait till the second or third?
After I fulfill that need.
Probably
after I
3 or
fulfill the
4.
need of offensive line, then my
And the
next need is the
Now,
defensive
we all
back.
agree on that. Donna, you even agree
No,
with that.
exactly.
No, she
because
heard
it
what we
starts-
said.
No, I told
that's
you.
cold.
She heard us
I
talking
told
in
you.
the green room.
She heard what we said. Her note said something completely
Novena.
different.
15 years. How
Maybe
many
she
we've had
found that
DBs?
out on that show she's on now. Yeah, she's on another show, you guys.
I said last week, Tony, as far as offensively and defensive linemen. You know that.
We actually, what happened when she lost the picks this year, I said she had to go get on another
Is
show.
that what you fired her
That's what
off.
it was.
So then, so you feel like if the receivers were good, running backs were good, it's just that offensive line. I feel that way too, and that's why I felt bad about RG3. Is he going to be the quarterback? He got sacked 7 times, and they'd always act like he was holding the ball. The other guys get sacked 7
was
times.
holding it.
So if everybody's getting sacked, that means your offensive line is terrible.
I think everybody needs to work on their craft and work on our game.
Exactly.
It's our quarterbacks especially as well. Everybody needs to work on their craft to get better, and that's important. If you don't work on your craft on an ongoing basis when you're playing, I'm talking about as the season is going on as well, if you don't work on your craft, you don't get better at it.
And that's coaches also. You know, because I saw
Not one coach helped me
mistakes.
work my craft. Not one of my position coaches. Only that person that helped me a lot was
CT.
Emmett Thomas and Charlie.
Not your
Emmett and
craft. I'm
Charlie.
talking about the coaches need to work on their own craft.
Oh, well, the
If you
coaches,
mess
without a
around
doubt.
And you got a special team that you get a ball blocked on the 20-yard line and you get this done and you don't get the job done, then you need to go home at night and look at film also.
We had everything done to us. Kickoff return, block PAT, block
Everything.
punt, onside kick. If you everything done, but yet we didn't do it to anybody else.
Exactly.
We didn't return one, we didn't block one. So that's the whole deal about it.
They need to take
we
a
got
page.
slapped in the face.
Yeah, they need to take a page from Seattle. Seattle won that game against Green Bay because
quiet,
of
Donna.
special team. They did, and as far as tackling,
I try to
they did a
help you,
good
Tony.
job.
I know it. You know what?
I'm
you
sorry,
know,
Tony, but I had to-
You're not on that other show now. You let me get out when I go out. Okay, we're going to take a break right now. See, can we get some other
Hey, Rick, you see
personnel
what I
up
gotta deal
here?
with?
We'll be back in a moment.
Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus wishes to thank Office Movers Incorporated, a Kane company, for our wonderful set pieces. For all your office furniture needs, visit the experts at officemovers.com.
Well, we know the defense did not play well, but at the same time, now the new defensive coordinator, you got 3 players maybe on that team that you can hang your hat on, Kerrigan, Breland, and Robinson, but I think that's a good foundation to build on.
Hatchet, you forgot about him.
Yeah,
What's the foundation?
Well, Hatcher, you know, he started off hot, and when he was injured, he didn't really show me a lot that I thought he was going to get, because his first 2 or 3 games, he was a beast.
You know, I'm going to say this, and it's going to be the second time I've said this. Will be the first time ever being on the show that I've ever had 2 good things to say about Tony. But one of the few guys over 30 that was effective. See, these guys over 30, he was effective in his 30s. Most guys, and by effective meaning he lasts the whole season, didn't miss time due to injury. And they could depend on it, got double-digit sacks in his 30s. These guys breaking down now to the point where I don't want nobody over 24. And that's where I'm at right now. So he's got to be a spot player.
That's a valid point.
He's got to be a nickel player.
And it seems like it's even gotten worse now that they don't hit as much as we used to.
That's the strange. Why they break it down?
No, training camp is 2 or 3
It comes
weeks.
back to the player, though.
Right.
It come back to the player. getting comfortable at their craft, getting comfortable, and also looking behind them a little. That guy can't take my job, so I'm going to ease up a little bit on my training, where beforehand, if you take care of your craft, you get to play this game for a long time, if you can play. You get to play it for a long time. We know the average lifespan is 3.5, but the people that play 3.5 years is a couple of things. Typically, they don't work on their craft. They're happy to get here. I got here, I made it, I'm here, I'm happy, ooh, let's go. And then they're going to do all the things outside of the sport that they shouldn't be doing.
So if you're picking defensively, and we've already said, first and foremost, we're going offense, and we're going offensive line. What do you pick on defense? I mean, you know we got to get secondary. Do you go safety or corner?
I'm handling my secondary with my pass rush.
See, I understand exactly what Doc's saying, because if you get that pass rush,
but I seen them get help.
Why would you go nose guard?
Because you need someone up there as push. You think about it, if you get a nose guard to be by Hatchett, he's already a force right there. You've got 2 weapons right there in the middle.
I don't like Hatchett in the 34. I don't think he likes it.
Well, you know, the one thing they have said, when you build a team, they always say, look at that right cornerback and that right defensive end, and you build from that on the defense. And that's what I would look at defensively. But I'm going to tell you what, the offensive line is so bad, I can't even look at the defensive line until the 3rd round. I'm telling you the truth. You cannot even look. Why are you going to have pass rushers when you can't score?
Well, because Seattle proved it too. They don't score a lot of points, but they got beasts on defense.
They sure do.
And that goal line stands. It was gutless, in my opinion. The Green Bay didn't go for it, but when they went for it, they got stuffed.
But you know what? When you look at the game, you can tell Aaron Rodgers knew he could score, but he also knew he wasn't going to get that ball back. And I tell you what, and then on that 2-point play, those guys didn't want to hurt each other, but they mess around, and that was ridiculous. Yeah. So, you know, but with that being said, let's get back to our defense. Yes, I would go cornerback, but I'm starting to see more and more of those safeties in the game. Yeah, like I'm looking at Landry, he playing, and we got rid of him how many years ago?
But what do you run, a 3-4 or a 4-3?
I look at the 4-3. Because this, the East is a running league. We, the beasts of the East, that's where it comes. You're going to have your pass. You got your Gary Clarks and stuff, but foundation is, like Rick said, up on that line of scrimmage, and you got 4 beasts up there that you don't have to blitz and everything. That makes your defensive backfield
better. They're still looking at a 3-4.
I like Belichick and the fact that they run 3-4, 4-3, 52.
Depends on
what I got.
They got 2 people standing up there.
That's what
I've been dropping off.
I'm based on who I have. That's what I'm gonna run.
Exactly.
Because we've been trying to force this 3-4 without real 3-4 personnel. To me,
you know the bad thing about that, Doc, when this 3-4 came in. Remember, Blanchard was here, and his defense was 5th and 6th in the league. And then when the last guy that was here, he was in the top 10. Then we go to this 3-4. We haven't stopped anybody yet.
And haven't been in the top 10.
Yeah, except for the year in 2012. I still go back. I'm with Gary. It's personnel. Man, I like Hatchett.
Craft.
I think if Hatchett's healthy, he's a keeper. But Bowen, Cofield now, they're good players, but I don't think they can play 16 weeks do the rigmarole. So I need some young bulls. I got to get 1 or 2 young bulls, and I got to rotate people. I think the way Seattle, I keep going back to Seattle, rotation. That era now got by a guy playing every snap, that's dead and gone.
You hear Doc talking about young bulls. We had one on our team, the prize bull, Dexter Manley, and he got us in the playoffs quite a few times. Now we'll talk a little bit about the playoffs, even though the Washington team is not there. We back in a moment. Hopefully Donna come back from our other job. We'll be back in a minute.
This is an exciting time where we bring our photographers who did a great job during the season, and one of them even got knocked over by the players during the course of the season. We've got Nick and Yvette. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing that up.
I had to throw that because you had a concussion, right?
Yes, I did.
Next year's my turn.
Your turn, Nick.
Oh, you don't want to.
But let's talk about taking pictures on the sidelines during the course of the game. Nick, you've got some great shots as far as Kirk Cousins and Breland and Reed to start it off. What do you look for when you're taking pictures during the course of the game?
Well, sometimes, like with the photo of Kirk Cousins, I'm just looking for a good sort of portrait in action type shot, which I think I got with the one that you're showing right now. With Breland, I was looking, I think that was like an assignment that you guys wanted to have a photo that showed the secondary getting beat, and I felt that was a good one since he was in the end zone and there was a score because he didn't knock it down.
And then you got Emerson and Kerrigan.
Right, yeah, Emerson.
I really like the one of Kerrigan because that's doing the breast cancer awareness game.
Yeah, well, Kerrigan is an awesome star, and I think he's one of the bright spots of the defense. And one thing I'm going to try to do next season is get him when he does like the He-Man routine after he makes a sack. I've gotten close, but
not there yet, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then, of course, then it's always great to get like a celebration in the end zone, like when Young and Paul were celebrating. And
then RG3?
Yeah, RG3, that's just another portrait in action. RG3 arguably doing what he does best, which is running. And then finally, just to finish up with
Mark Rippon.
Yeah, that was a very emotional thing, just to be out there to see one of the guys who's like the legendary people being inducted into the ring and all that. It was just a real privilege to be out there to photograph him.
Have you put any up on your wall? I mean, because you take so many pictures in the course of the season. I mean, has any made your wall as far as, this is my favorite?
Well, I think this set, I mean, the 2012 thing, I had a good one of Alfred Morris and RG3 getting game balls, but I think this one, I actually think that the one of Jordan Reed losing his helmet and losing the touchdown, because he looked so angry and upset,
right.
You know, the fact that it was called back, you could just tell, and just the drama of the helmet being flipped through the air and all that.
It's an honor to have both of you all because we have two on the sideline taking pictures from different angles. So Yvette, you start off with Niles Paul, as far as Roy or Lou, and as far as even Santa Claus. What do you look for as far as when you're taking pictures? Because there's a lot of action going on the sideline.
Yeah, I definitely look for the action, and Niles Paul was close to me, and he was running, and he's a friend, so, you know, I'm a little biased there.
Okay. That's why all the Niles Paul's pictures.
That's why there's so many, right, exactly. Yeah, and Darrell Young, there should be a lot of those, too. But I look for who has the ball, and the exciting shots to me are when they're in the air.
Yeah.
And someone stepped in front of my shot when the helmet was knocked off.
Right.
So yeah, so I didn't get that shot, but I was right next to him when he was passing the end zone, and the helmet was knocked off. And I think the ref stood in front of mine for that shot. But it definitely what appeals to me, which is the action, and if they're in the air, those are my favorite shots.
Yeah, you've got Perry Riley, RG3, Grant, and then RG passing. A few more, and then you got the horse head. What is that all about?
The horse head. Fans will dress as anything to get attention, and they're always yelling for our attention. So the horse head appealed to me because I worked with a comedian who we did headshots for the horse head with a horse head. So that caught my attention in Redskins and horse head. But no, there's no slide to there's no.
Yeah. But before we have to go, I want to talk about some of the things you all are doing outside of football. You've got some projects coming along as far as you're writing a book, and then you've got a video. Talk a little bit about that, and then Nick, as far as what you're doing.
Okay, so the book is a teen project that I'm working on. Teens called Suppressed Expressions. And a group of teens are writing their story and sharing about teen suicide, and it's pretty much just giving a voice to teens and what stresses them out now and what they don't feel that they're open to talk about. And a lot of adults, you know, they may not understand what they're going through, and I wanted to give them that venue, you know, that opportunity to express themselves. So that's the book. The music video is about it's a social campaign that I started based on a T-shirt idea called "Keep It in the Ring,"
right.
And it's to show how abusers can reform through counseling and redirecting their anger through MMA or boxing or any sports like that. So we started a music video, and Tori Nelson, the boxer, she made an appearance in it, and then my mentor, Queen Afi, she was in it as a counselor, showing that you can reform. She started a program called Domestic Violence Wears Many Tags, and she was a reformed abuser. So, yeah.
Sounds like great. So we're going to have you back to talk a little bit more.
Thank you.
And Nick, as far as, I know we're running out of time, but we're going to have you all back during the off season for another show.
Yeah.
So more Pro Football Plus after this message.
Tony, on this Gridiron Legacy segment, we're going to talk to Daniel Robinson, who goes to Osborne Park and high school, and he is a big Redskin fan. I understand you play wide receiver, and Gary's been giving you some coaching, right?
Yes.
And you'll be entering the 2022 draft, is that correct?
Yep, hopefully.
Yeah, and you're a big fan. I want to find out all the paraphernalia and things that you have at home. But also joining us, Joe Doman, and Joe is with Remax Gateway in Ashburn, and a big part of the Gridiron Legacy, and you've done a lot of great things for charity, haven't you?
Yeah, we support a lot of local charities here in the area, and our primary charity is Children's Miracle Network. So.
And that came to you through a personal experience, right?
Yeah, exactly. I lost my dad to cancer when he was 49, and it really kind of changed the way I thought about everything, and that's when I first started to go to real estate school and start doing those things. And then my first son was born almost 11 years ago, Blake, and obviously, you know, when you have a child, that changes the way you think about anything. You never realize how hard you can love something. So our primary charity, and I kind of back and forth, wasn't sure what our primary charity should be. So our primary charity is Children's Miracle Network.
And you give a ton every time you close a settlement.
Yeah, every time we go to a settlement, we make a donation in our client's name, actually, to Children's Miracle Network for us.
That's amazing what you guys are doing out there. I'm so glad you decided to come on, and of course you're helping Gary's Gridiron Legacy. But let's talk to the next wide receiver of the 2026 Washington Redskins. Now, I understand that you were mumbling offset that you want my job. I've been doing it 30 years. I'm old. You can have my job. You can. But I think you should play in the NFL first, make the big money that Gary Clark unfortunately never got to make but deserved, and then you can have a career when you're 35 in television. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Yeah. So wide receiver, what's the big trick to playing wide receiver? Getting in the other guy's head so that he's not covering you well? What's the big trick?
Basically, you have to be quick and know your routes, basically. And yeah.
Have you been picking Gary's brain offset here?
I haven't really gotten a chance to talk to him.
Excuse me, he's one of the best ever to play the game. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. I will be shadowing him 24 hours a day. We want to thank you, Daniel and Joe, for being with us on this segment of Gridiron Legacy. Again, realtors doing great things in the Northern Virginia community. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that words really can hurt you?
What?
Jesse, don't go! Jesse, no!
I'm sorry, Daisy, but I'm a loner, and a loner's gotta be alone.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
It's no wonder more people choose Toyota over any other car. After all, Toyota is the best when it comes to overall value and resale value. But there's more, like being treated right, respect for your time, and getting a good, fair value for your trade. So check out what's new at Toyota. Because your Toyota dealer is a great place to do business. Toyota, let's go places.
Tony, we're with R.B. Cobean, and of course they won at Hard Times Cafe the restaurant challenge this year. Now that was a tough one because you went right down to the playoffs and you had to pick the closest to the score and the winner both, and you got it by 3 points. Now the Sports Bar Challenge I know is a mainstay on this show and has been for a number of years, but what most people don't know is that these restaurants have to pick several weeks in advance, and so they really do need tea leaves or some kind of crystal ball to be able to predict. How are you able to do that?
Well, when you get the schedule, you look at, who's hot and who's playing good. You can't predict the injuries and what's going to happen. You just predict the teams that are hot and you think are going to do good. And, you hope that they stay healthy and they still play at that level. It doesn't always work out that way, but this year I was lucky enough and it did. And, those Cowboys winning, which I can't ever say, the one time I actually rooted for the Cowboys, and they brought home the championship for me.
Yeah, well, they could have easily have done it this year had it not been for a couple of things. And given the way the Packers performed over the weekend, you never know. But you got some big events coming up. You got a Super Bowl party on February 1st. But let's talk about my Caps first. My Caps are, I happen to think that Braden Holtby's going to take them to the Stanley Cup. They're going to win it this year. I can see the trophy on the front page of the Washington Post and Holtby basically holding it up. And you have a Caps viewing party on the 31st, right?
Yes, the 31st, it's a 1 o'clock game. They're playing the Montreal Canadiens, who are playing some really good hockey also. But what we're doing is, it's basically a big party, what we're doing. We're gonna have raffles. We're giving away a pair of lower bowl tickets. We'll have all kinds of great food and beer specials. And it's just a great fun event. And we'll be giving away all kinds of stuff. Plus a couple of jerseys we'll be giving away also.
And February 1st, you got your big Super Bowl party.
Absolutely. It's a big thing we do every year. We have our world famous $9.99 buffet that we have every year.
Really? Seriously? All you can eat $9.99?
All you can eat $9.99, featuring chicken Alamo, but we'll have all kinds of other great specials on there. We got some incredible drink specials that we're doing that day, and we're also giving away some jerseys and all that, and it should be a fantastic game against the Patriots and the Seahawks.
Patriots are going to roll. And coming up on February 3rd, you got a big beer tasting, right?
Yes, we have a big beer tasting. 4 big breweries will be, representative, microbrews with you'll be able to taste 4 different beers from each of those, so for a total of 16 beers. Plus, we're doing a chili dog buffet, giving away some great prizes and all that for only $25.
Speaking of chili dogs, you brought some new menu items here. This one you mentioned has something to do with number 44?
That is actually Riggins sausage. John Riggins has a sausage out, Kansas sausage. It's just fantastic. First bit into it, and it's got a nice flavor, a nice little bite, but it's not overly spicy, and it's fantastic. And you can get it 3 different ways, plain like that. We also have it with onions and peppers, and then you can get it, dressed up with chili, cheese, and onions.
And you have Tony's mainstay right here. You have your wings. Looks like you have some wraps, which are very good. 2 great salads that we couldn't show because they're green and they would interfere with the green screen, but we had the salmon salad, and we also had my favorite, the chicken salad, which was very good. And then you have something over cornbread here. What's that?
That's the chili bubba right there. That's 2 of our great pieces of cornbread topped with your choice of chili, cheese, and sour cream, and it's fantastic, especially these cold winters. That's just nothing better to warm you up on that. And I wanted to bring the salads also, the salmon salad, because I know you told me that's Donna's favorite.
Yes, it is.
And the Santa Fe salad, which is your favorite. So people just don't think, hard times is, chili and wings. We also do have some healthy choices also.
Well, thank you, RB. It's always a pleasure, and I know Tony is very proud of the fact that you've been such a big part of the Sports Bar Challenge for so many years. And as we say goodbye, who are you picking in the Super Bowl?
I'm actually predicting the Pats, but I did want to remind everybody to call early, place their Super Bowl to-go orders, because we will be busy that day, and no place like Hard Times to get your Super Bowl party food.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us, RB.
You're welcome, Mike. Thanks for having me.
All right, Tony.
You've got Seattle and New England. It's going to come down to who can run the ball. Then you've got coaching against Belichick and Carroll. Who can dream up the both scheme to counter the other? Pick Seattle.
Well, if you're watching this show today, you know we're talking Super Bowl. When you talk Super Bowl, you talk food, you talk good food. So we've been bringing in a lot of restaurants, and I can really frequent all of them. You can look at my stomach and see that, but I tell you what, this is a really good one that I'm bringing in right now. A couple of friends of mine, they came in second on the Sports Bar Challenge, but at the same time, they only lost by a couple of percentage points. Crystal City Sports Club, welcome Billy Baines and Jimmy Madden. How you guys doing?
Real good, Tony. Thank you for having us.
And you know, Billy, you had a great way you was picking the home teams this year, but you just couldn't pick Dallas, could you?
Nope. made my mistake at the end.
You guys did well, and I'm glad to have you on the show. But let's talk about this. And you've been with me for a long time. The Washington Redskins, and what does your clients feel? What do you feel about the team this year?
Every year there seems like a renewed hope, and it seems to be wearing on them, a lot of them, you know. Every year there's a new hope, but the team just seems to falter, no matter who they bring in, coaches, players, what have you. But so now with a new general manager coming in this year, I know that the hope will be back there again. The true diehard Redskin fans will be back again in force and be looking for a good Redskin season this year coming up.
Billy, you and I talked 3 years ago when they made the big trade and they gave up all the draft picks to get RG3. And one thing we both said at that time was that was not the only need that they had. They needed offensive linemen, they need defensive linemen, they needed more people in that. So now that you reflect back on that trade, do you think that was a problem?
Well, I think anybody that does football, especially yourself, Tony, being a defensive lineman, to win football games, to be a great team, you have to control the line of scrimmage. And you need an offensive line, and the offensive line's got to dominate the defensive line for them to be successful, and vice versa. If you're on a defensive line, if you're going to be a great defense, you got to control that line of scrimmage, put pressure on the quarterback. The Redskins do neither. I mean, Kerrigan's a great player, don't get me wrong, but he needs help. It's not one. You need a front four that dominates.
Exactly.
And an offensive line. Look when the Redskins were in their heyday. They had the best offensive line in football.
Exactly.
There's a reason they won, and it starts with the line of scrimmage in football. You control it, you're going to win the game 90 times out of 100. The other X factor is turnovers. You know, you can't turn over the ball more than the other team because you're going to lose 9 times out of 10.
You watch you guys, don't you? And you know, speaking of watching, when you guys get ready to go to the Super Bowl, I'm out here at Crystal City Sports Club all the time. They have some of the greatest food, and you bought a couple of things in today. Explain a little bit to me what you have here.
Well, these are some of Jimmy's products, but Jimmy can take over. I'll start with the crab cake because we have the same crab cake at Crystal City Restaurant that they do at Crystal City Sports Pub. It's made out of jumbo lump and lump crab meat. You see how big it is because you go to so many places that are all filler. This is the best crab cake in Washington, D.C. It's priced right. We basically a giveaway item, and we sell a lot of them. And when you come there, if you have one, you will not be disappointed. It is the best in town.
It's large too. I really see it. I don't eat crab. I can't eat shell food, but you know, I know I've seen a lot of places that have this, and I've never seen one this large.
When you go to the Eastern Shore or to the beach communities, that's how they serve them. You know, they serve a 7-8 ounce crab cake, and they charge $22, $23 for it. You can get, you know, and we don't get anywhere near that. We sell ours at basically cost, but.
Well, you know, during the playoffs, the crab cakes, are they big, or is this delicious-looking hamburger outstanding?
we just like a traditional sports bar would, we sell all variety of your appetizers, the wings, the chicken fingers, popcorn, shrimp. The burger I brought today is one of my favorites. All our burgers are super, but this is the Smokehouse burger. It's got some grilled mushrooms and your choice of cheese and the bacon and the little barbecue sauce on the side. Been there 20 years since day one, and it's still one of my favorite burgers to eat there at the Sports Pub.
And I tell you what, I eat your chicken fingers a lot. I really love those. But I haven't had anything there I didn't like. Speaking of that, tell me about your clients during the Redskins season. And now that it's over and you got good football with the playoffs, do you have more clients coming in now to watch the games?
There's still team specific to a degree, but there's still, when you get this late in the year, especially with the Super Bowl coming up, you're getting the true football fan wants to come out and watch these NFC, AFC championship games. Super Bowl especially. Even if your team's not in it, if you're a football fan, you still want to come out and see how the game goes and maybe root for your conference, maybe not root against the team that you don't like maybe on the other side, but you still see a variety of football fans coming in.
Billy, put your general manager hat on. What did we draft?
I would start with, it was a lot of places, but I would go offensive line, another big pass rusher for the other side of Kerrigan. I think we need a linebacker. I love to do young corner. I think we need maybe one more corner. And I love Clark, but he's getting old. You know, you got to get somebody back there too. So
I don't think Clark played that well this year to me. I think he'll be in broadcast next year.
Well, he's getting that age where it's time. Unfortunately, Father Time catches up with all of us. But the Redskins need to start with that offensive and defensive line, in my opinion.
Okay, guys, the last question. Who do you pick for the Super Bowl? Now, you got that big controversy that they say New England was using the deflated balls, but they still just clearly was the best team on the field.
They certainly were the best team on the field, but there's a big but. If they did that on purpose, and I love Belichick, I love Brady, but if they intentionally did that, because any of us have played football and played in rain and played in cold know that having a deflated football, and that was bad weather, that rain was pouring, you can grip the ball better. This quarterback's got a lot bigger hands than I got, and I got a pretty big hand, but you can hold that ball and you can catch a ball a lot better with a little bit of air out of it, and it's wrong.
Yeah, I think so.
And if it was intentional, in my opinion, and everybody's going to have different opinions, you don't fine them, you make them forfeit the game, because the integrity of the game is at stake there. And, it's just...
But what can they do?
What should be done is they should have a football that the refs bring, and that same football is played with both sides. Then there's no argument. Then there's no, but when one side has one side has a different one, it's crazy. Why wouldn't you use the same football for both sides? Then there's no argument. Seattle or New England? Well, I think you got two great quarterbacks, maybe two of the best ever. This kid, Russell Wilson, brings another factor to the football field that, when you can run, that defensive line has to rush a different way when he's that mobile. Seattle's defense great. I think it's going to be a classic game. I think it's going to be an absolutely great Super Bowl, a must-watch for everybody. All right, Crystal City Sports Pub. Go down there, get your burger. As you can see, Billy, as well as Jim, they know their stuff. Enjoy the game. Go to Crystal City Sports Pub. I'll probably be there, too. Hey, guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Tony. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it, buddy.
So it's the last game of the year, the Super Bowl. We have the Seahawks and the Patriots. These two teams are easily the best in football, and you can't go against either one. This will be an interesting, tough, hard-fought game, but I like Seattle to come out on top. Pick the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl.
In the scholarship contest, you still have a couple of weeks to enter. Go to redmagplus.com, click on Kids Sideline, download the form, compete in the essay contest if you're a high schooler, and the topic is, how can technology help to curb violence in society? I think we saw this past week with social media how important technology is amassing the crowds in Paris to fight violence in our society.
Well, it's Super Bowl times. I wear my rings during that time of year on the show. Did not wear them this year for the Washington Redskins because they haven't been to a Super Bowl since '92. But if you want to have a good time and you want to have a good time at the Super Bowl party, you need to go to O'Malley's in Sterling, Virginia, located in the Holiday Inn. Here representing O'Malley's is Matt Hurst, a good friend of mine. And we, on this show, we do a couple of shows there each year, and we have a great crowd and a great time. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Tony. Great to be here.
Tell me what you're doing in O'Malley's, and I know I have a good time whenever I'm there, and that's quite often.
We always enjoy when you come and you bring a great crowd with you. Of course, we do have a big Super Bowl party coming up here, just like most places. But we've got 26 TV screens, running some great specials, Big thing is we're going to have fish tacos, 3 fish tacos for $3, $5 nachos, $5 cheeseburgers. So just looking for folks to come out and watch the game.
And now you have here the great chicken wings, which I hope everybody get opportunity to try. I mean, you have some sliders here.
Absolutely. We have our retro sliders here, cheeseburger sliders with a Thousand Island dressing. And the wings, we've got 4 different wings. We have our teriyaki, barbecue, jerk chicken, and then, of course, the traditional buffalo wings.
Let me ask you this. During the course of the year when the Washington wasn't playing well, but see, you're an international hotel, so a lot of different people come through. Now that you're in the playoffs, do you get a better crowd in there than when Washington was playing?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the playoffs.
Let's be truthful about it. Let's say it's the truth.
You know, it's hard to get Washington fans out these days. So we do a lot of times. It's great when people are traveling because we have all the games on. Any game that's on, you can see it there. So if someone is traveling from outside the area, they can still catch their favorite team when they're there.
What do you think about the Washington team this year? What did you see?
I think I saw what everyone saw. There's a ton of holes on that team, and it's not going to be. I think we just need to stop looking for the magic diet pill fix, where you know you take a pill, one pill fixes everything. I think you got to get out there and you just got to. It's like losing weight. You know, you got to get out there. You got to eat right. You got to lose weight. You got to do a lot of things to make it happen, as opposed to just thinking you do one thing and it's fixed.
And you know, what do you think about the RG3 situation? Now, it looks as if he was thrown under the bus a little bit. We knew he did not have a very good offensive line. We knew that going in, but then they say he holds the ball too long. Do you think now that this young man has been injured, is he the quarterback of the future?
You know, I think that I'm not opposed to giving him more time in a Washington uniform, but I think they got to keep all their options open.
Yeah, but from a coach to come in that has never coached, and then he's going to come in 2 games and say this guy can't play for him.
You know, you could say that, but he also, the coach also has a brother that is renowned for his ability to break down quarterbacks and their skill sets. So.
So you think he's getting information?
I think it's probably pretty
Chucky.
I think it's probably pretty fair bet.
But what else are you doing? So you got your Super Bowl party, and I know it seems like every night that you have a lot of things going on in the Mallees, and I really want you fans to come over there. It's a great place to come, and you know, you start to noticing and knowing the people over there, and it's really enjoyable.
Yeah, we always have great happy hour specials. You know, we even do O to go. You can come in and grab something to go. And we even have some folks that instead of going and hanging out in the at the airport in the cell phone waiting lot when they're waiting for someone to land, they just come to O'Malley. Since we're only 2 miles from the airport, they can sit there, have something to eat, and then when their relatives land, they just place the phone call and they can leave from there and go pick them up at the airport.
Well, I've tried almost everything you have over there, and I haven't found anything that I do not like. I even had the salad the other day, was Mediterranean salad that was very, very good. And I tell you, the sandwiches you have is just off the chain. So all of your food, you guys just really work at making your food the best it could be.
Yep, and we're always changing it up seasonally, so there'll be some new menus, some new items on the menu next month when you come.
All right, if you're looking for a good time for Super Bowl, it's a good place to be. O'Malley's, Sterling, Virginia, Holiday Inn, Holiday Drive. Meet me over there. You guys come and we'll enjoy it together. We'll be back in a moment.
Tony, we're with George Murad, CEO and founder of Red Door Metro of Keller Williams Realty. And I got to ask you, George, why Red Door? Where does that come from?
Red Door, the universal symbol of welcome. In different cultures, it means so many various things. Like in Europe, in England, it means when you have your door painted red, it means that your mortgage is paid off and your home is free and clear, and it's a universal sign of welcoming, and we want to welcome people into home ownership.
You know, Tony McGee called me the other day and told me about a fascinating fellow by the name of George Murad. Have you ever heard of him? He happens to be you. He said this, in all his years of doing the show, he doesn't recollect someone actually getting on the phone and calling him and saying, what can we do for the charity of your choice? And at Thanksgiving, you got in touch with Tony about Christmas holidays, and you did an amazing thing.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough. Tony let us know about the Tacoma Park Rec Center and some of the children over there. So we were able to gather up 250 pounds worth of turkeys and a handful of toys and deliver them out there for Christmas and try to make, you know, that one day feeling blessed. And, you know, fortunate enough, you know, you have to give to live. And it's one of those things where when you have that opportunity and you're able to give back, it's something that we really thrive on.
Yeah, and I heard you say something to Tony, too, that just with a referral or two, you continue to help him on a regular basis. I think that's a wonderful notion.
For sure. What we did was we just made a pledge to Tony that any referrals that we end up getting through the network, through Tony and the various sponsors, what we'll do is donate $1,000 towards Tony's charity and foundation in order to help the the youths of the metro area.
I'm so glad you agreed to come out and be on the show.
Thank you for having me.
This is now just real quickly, this is a great time to buy a home. I saw that, there's an ARM in the 2s, there's the 15-year in the 3s, and one of the lowest ever, 4.37 or something for a 30. Who wouldn't want to buy a home with that interest rate?
I mean, right now, it is the absolute amazing opportunity because you're able to go leverage a small amount of funds that you would use for a down payment and leverage that into a larger investment. And right now, real estate, there is no better investment. When you look at the top millionaires throughout the world, they say real estate is their #1 investment and the thing that really holds on to value. And right now, there is no better time for homeowners who are getting in there as first-time home buyers, but then even more importantly, those ones who already own a home who are looking to do that move up. Because believe it or not, with the way the rates are right now, people are able to move up and really not even pay more. Sometimes they're even paying less for more house.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing.
I never thought I would ever see interest rates stay at this level for this long. Truly amazing.
Historically at the lowest they've ever been, and we see them there for a little while, but they will go up. And as those go up, their buying power decreases. So right now is the ultimate time to get the more house for the money.
The size of the home and the size of the yard.
Absolutely.
Real quickly before we run out of time, Super Bowl's coming up. You played, of course, high school football, played defensive line like Tony McGee. And who do you pick? Are you pick Seattle, or are you going to go with the preferred favorite New England Patriots?
Well, I will tell you, Seattle, especially after yesterday's game, was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, when you talk about heart and true team concept, they did it yesterday. But I do think it's going to be Tom Brady's year this year. I think there's been those times, but I think it's going to be their year, and I have a feeling Seattle is going to be coming back there quite often.
So it's going to be Tom terrific.
Absolutely.
George Murad, you're a good man. Thanks for coming back and being with us again.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you, George. Appreciate it.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know genies can be really literal?
No.
What is your wish?
No. Okay, $1 million.
Oh, no.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
It's no wonder more people choose Toyota over any other car. After all, Toyota is the best when it comes to overall value and resale value. But there's more, like being treated right, respect for your time, and getting a good, fair value for your trade. So check out what's new at Toyota. Because your Toyota dealer is a great place to do business. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, you know, no better way to end a 30 years when I'm speaking with a gentleman that's a good friend of mine. 30 years ago, he and I did game day together on ESPN, and whenever I mess up on my picks like I did this year, I go to the Swami. I go to Mr. Chris Berman. Hey, Chris, what's happening?
Tony, we go back a long way. I don't know that the Swami is always right either, but we every now and then send the magic carpet out to the dry cleaner. But
I tell you what, I needed you.
Game day on ESPN in the mid-'80s, and that's after you and I got to visit, well, your Redskin days at the end of your career, but we got to know each other when you were with the Patriots in the 70s, and I was a young, up-and-coming, we hoped, radio man in Connecticut, and we've been friends ever since. I'm happy to punctuate 30 years for you, man. You're a survivor.
I tell you, it's been holding on by my fingernails. But let me ask you about surviving. What'd you think about that game the other day? I mean, Seattle. Did that prove that they can maybe do it 2 years in a row?
Well, it didn't prove it, but it proved that they could win when it didn't look good. I mean, Green Bay went away, as you know, scratching their head. Man, Aaron Rodgers said it. We outplayed them. We did a lot of things. I mean, Russell Wilson's not going to have that many games like that. I mean, they hope, but we haven't seen that. The big question will be if Thomas and Sherman are okay, but that means that what we have in the Super Bowl, Tony, is a team, trying to repeat and coming off hardly its best effort against a team that New England, who the last repeater, as you know, but 2 weeks ago against Baltimore, or a week and a half ago, they were fortunate to survive. So as good as New England looked against Indy, they dodged one against the Ravens. Seattle certainly dodged one against Green Bay. So we know that they can both blow up teams and they can win a real tight one, and that speaks to winning the whole thing.
And you know what, you think about New England, they quietly built that defense up. The defense is really playing well. They got Revis and Browner back there, so the defensive backfield is formidable now. But what you look at is the Seattle team, not only are they good on offense, defense, but they're also good with special teams. So right now, I know if we had to do our picks, and you and I do this in the next minute or so, right now I got to look at Seattle. I think Seattle will repeat. I think the young quarterback will have a good game. Maybe he needed that bad game, but who do you pick, Chris?
Well, I mean, the Swami has to go, into the crystal ball, Tony, and get to the Super Bowl. But I picked at the start of the season Seattle, which didn't make me, a lot of people did. And I had Baltimore, so the Ravens were close, but they didn't. So, I mean, by that alone, I probably, as we speak, almost 2 weeks before the game, lean to Seattle. But New England is, Coach Belichick, if there's anyone that can decipher that defense as good as it is, and what are the little holes and cracks in this, it will be Coach Belichick, and I know you agree with that. So, and certainly Tom Brady, who I just visited with 10 days ago, and he is hell-bent on, winning early and winning late, in his career. So it's going to be about a pick-em, Tony. It's going to be no one's really going to be favored. And I think that's about the way it should be, because you have kind of royalty on both sides. And the defending champ and a New England team that people think are kind of in the Super Bowl every year.
You're right, and I agree with you on that. And I want to thank you again, Chris, for coming on and speaking with me and giving me your knowledge. I'll be giving you a call anyway so we can catch up a little bit. We're a little bit behind, but hey, once again, I go with you. I think it's a pick 'em, but I'm looking at Seattle, but you always got to look for the New England. But thanks a lot, Chris, and tell the family hello.
I will, and same to you and Tony. We're proud of you. You're a great player, you're a great person, and you represent our business wonderfully for 30 years. I'm proud to be your friend.
Thank you, my man. We'll talk soon.
I'll see you.
$15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know certain cartoon characters should never have an energy drink?
Action.
Geico.
Introducing the Birds of America collection. 50 stunning hand-painted plates commemorating the state birds of our proud nation.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
It's no wonder more people choose Toyota over any other car. After all, Toyota is the best when it comes to overall value and resale value. But there's more, like being treated right, respect for your time, and getting a good, fair value for your trade. So check out what's new at Toyota. Because your Toyota dealer is a great place to do business. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, it's playoff time. As you know, during playoff time, the best thing to do is watch football and eat. We have a little bit of food that we bought up in here. Donna, tell me a little bit very quickly about this that Gary's going to steal from us.
Yeah, I just whipped up, a little banana pudding when I didn't have anything to do last night.
Because she lost. She had to make banana pudding.
That goes to the champion.
That goes to the champion.
That goes to the champion.
Exactly.
Okay, I put together a little fried turkey, I tell you what, it smells pretty good.
You or Novena?
I put it together.
Well, I think Novena
did like your game.
I think Novena did.
I did Novena did bring it out.
Novena brought it out.
Y'all some haters. Haters on the stage.
Never give her credit.
And Adam Batachi bought the chocolate in, and I tell you what,
That's really good too.
I wonder if Adam cooked it himself.
I brought my appetite. That's what I brought in.
Indeed. Speaking of it, you know, it is a good time of the year, good football. To me, the best two teams are in the Super Bowl. What do you guys feel with that? I mean, I know that Seattle had to come back, but that shows you they can come back. And then on the other hand, the Patriots showed the coach that you're not ready yet.
Who's the quarterback for the Patriots?
Brady. I thought about that. They said if he win this one, and they were doing a little perspective, they said he's been in 5 Super Bowls. He's lost 2 of them by 1 play. And this will be his 6th Super Bowl. So they said this could rate if he wins it, he's the best ever.
No, Montana.
That's what they said. That's the big argument.
There's no doubt. There's no losses.
Montana. Yeah, he won them all.
No one play.
He got 5, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, he got 4.
4.
Haley got 5. JMU.
Oh, that's right.
JMU in the house. What?
That's right.
JMU.
Virginia.
How about back-to-backs, though? I mean, no one's done it since the Patriots.
Right.
We tried to do it and failed.
Exactly.
So you got to get through this game. Not to it. You got to get through it when you're going back-to-back.
And 2 good teams with 2 good defenses.
Okay, well, who do you pick?
I'm staying with the Hawks.
Yeah. Because they got everything. Offense, defense, special teams.
What don't they have?
Brady.
Yeah. They ate Manning up. They won't eat him up like they ate Peyton, but to me, I think it'll be similar.
Yeah.
And they're not as good defensively as they were.
But now they got Blount back out there and they're running that ball again, so I tell you what.
They ran it against Indianapolis.
Okay.
We're not a good defense.
Yeah, they're terrible.
So who do you have, Donna?
Seattle, hands down.
Oh, that already tells you, right?
Fans, this is not the only time we talk in playoffs. We had ourselves one of a playoff in our picks. These two would be quiet for a minute. And as you know, we had one man that has doubled up and won them twice in a row. And this is kind of a feast for him, and we got something else for him. Can we bring up the hardware, please?
With help, I want to say that.
All right.
Man. Back to back.
Clark.
Back to back.
Now, we did have a little discrepancy. They were talking about Gary Clark had some help during the pick, so it's an asterisk next to that trophy.
This is
but
what
at the
I
same
know.
time, you did a good job.
I won by such a humongous lead that you can take those away, and I still win going away.
Situations where we had to call in and help him because he wasn't here.
At the end of the day,
I just remember back in the day.
Who's taking the trophy
You
home?
had to get your stuff in.
Well, while we're finishing this argument, I want you to
home?
know that we're happy that you've been here to watch us in our 30th year. We're thinking about doing some off-season shows, so keep your eyes on Masson because that's where we'll be doing it. You can also go to my website. We'll put it on there when we're going, redmagplus.com, when we'll be on. But one thing we do, when we come back next year, we want you to come back. Thank you for watching. Thanks, guys, for being on the show. And all of you have a good Super Bowl.
Thanks, Novena.
I did not
and
see
happy
that.
Martin Luther King's birthday.
You did good.
We'll talk to you later.
I didn't see this.